Hey everybody and welcome back. I am Titan9 and we are returning for the second of two Dual Impact GDO2 for you number nerds out there. Sealed preparation. For 1 week we have these second set packs coming out and we'll be able to play the sealed format, which if you're not familiar, you get 4 packs of these cards and you get to make a 30 card deck out of them, and there's no color restriction or card limit restrictions, as in you could have 5 more copies of a single card, which is not normally allowed in Constructed, but you have to kind of make do here in Sealed. It probably won't come up, but you have that option available. So unlike last time where they had these events going on for 2 weeks and stores had enough allocation to run multiple events, allocation distributions on these have been tight, much like the problem we had with SDO5, so sadly only a week of events, so you want to make sure you get to do your best, win those extra promos, I'm sure. Perhaps some stores are giving out extra packs as well. So I'm here to help you out and kind of we'll walk through the packs that we open, see which cards are good, what kind of nice fundamentally good cards, sort of good cards on their own, and some little synergies that we can find that will work well together. You can look at the first video up in the card above. I go a little more into the specifics of what we're kind of looking for and why. Here, some of that will carry over as we evaluate the cards we open, but definitely watch that as it gives you a better overview than I'll be giving you here in the second video. So without much further ado, let us open pack 1. Okay, let's see here. I've been opening this guy a lot in not only the video games, but some practice games. We've got 2 bases here. I'm really happy to see this Argama, not so much for the effect, but there are a lot of cards I've noticed, especially in that AUG faction, that care about white bases, and I'm usually not opening a lot of bases, and they're definitely not white, so this gives us a good head start. I'm not seeing any cards that currently care about it, but there are 3 more packs, and we have a second base too. I've been generally opening 2 bases. I'm sure we'll open at least another one. You definitely want to run 2 bases no matter what they are, 3 or 4 depending on your pool. I don't think you want to go much more than that, but if you've got strong fundamentals, you'll be fine. So a 2-2 for 2, we're not going to get to link it, so we probably won't run this one. This 3-3 that only costs 2 to come down level 3 I do like, and there are a fair number of Titan pilots, so you can usually rush with that. We do have this leopard that would pair with our Familial Devotion Witso card. It's not great on its own. At least the Roy... I actually don't remember what that Royby does, but we could link this. I will sometimes prioritize cards because they're link units. I think that can be effective. I wish it... Well, this +1 maybe comes up since we're trading a lot. It could make this 2-2 a 2-3, and that's great at taking out your opponent's 2-2. So I won't dismiss it out of hand. But the effect for this Gundam Leopard, during your turn, if there are 7 more cards in your trash, some of them care about them being purple cards. This one, it's just cards, a lot more viable already. This unit, when that happens, can't receive damage from enemy commands. There are actually a few of those roaming around. One of the clan command pilots does damage, and there's that card that deals the damage to everything. They probably won't be targeting it with this, but if you've like done a good trade with this and it's only got 3 it's taken 3 damage, then like it can't be picked off. So there's some nice benefit to that. This Hammerhead base requires a linked Teiwaz unit, so probably we're not going to get that effect off. The Haman Gaza C is just a fairly decent card. If we do include that Familial Devotion with Wits, we would get to use this ability. Oh, no, wait. No, sorry. It doesn't need a level 3 or lower pilot. That's something else in the set. It just needs a unit to be level 3, and you get to deal damage to it. This Gaza C01, we probably won't be using the Destroy effect to deal damage to something level 5 or lower. We might as well just have a real card that can deal real damage. We obviously don't have Elan in the set for the Gundam Farak to link, but sometimes a 5-4 that only costs 3 can be a good enough top-end type card. The Genoese Custom... Wolf is a command pilot that we could have, so we could get to rush with this. We probably won't see a lot of age units to take good advantage of this effect, though we do actually have this Gundam Age Titus, this nice Breach 3 guy. It is level 7, but these games go long. So you can presume to be getting there to take advantage of this Breach 3. It's a good way to kind of finish off a game. Behind the Mask, I don't know how useful this will be. Maybe if we have a lot more Breach packages, resting enemy units will be fine, but it is level 2 or lower. You're not going to see that many of them at a meaningful time frame. If you were running like anti-aggro tech, this could be useful, but the format is really like a mid-range grind fest, so I don't anticipate this card being super useful for us. Let's go to the next pack. Alright, so here's that command pilot I was talking about. Choose an enemy unit, deal damage to it. So now that couldn't affect our Vulture. Another one of this. I draw this guy all the time. We do indeed have a third... Well, we actually have 4 bases now. The Shuji hideout maybe could be useful. It does deal damage on its way out. Sometimes not great because your opponent can easily play around it. The Alexandria lets us deal 1 damage to a rested unit, so we are going to get to do a fair amount of pinging should we choose to run these bases. If we don't have any cares about white bases effects, these 2 bases might be the only ones I run. Shalia Bull is not the best. I don't think we have that many high maneuver options in the deck, in the set in general, so probably it won't come up, though a 1-2 could matter. I do like that we have these... Orga, Krat, and Shani, because in other pools have got, like right down here, I've gotten these ones that care about biological CPU traits, so now we can kind of rush with them. And it's already a 4-4, we turn into a 6-5, that's going to be mean. Another fair act, the Heavy Arms I think is just generically good. It lets you look at the top of your deck when you and your opponents are kind of working with the same card quality and the same general mid-range strategy. It's nice that you have this card advantage of stacking the top of your deck. Like when I'm bottoming cards I don't want to draw with it, I feel really great, and then just the 3-4 is a pretty good stat line as it is. Mobius Peacemaker team, it just sort of deals 6 damage to a base. I don't think is good in Constructed or this format, so don't worry about that one. The Gundam X Garad is a rare pilot, so we might not get to do it, but it does only care about being paired with a Vulture pilot. We currently have 2 of those already. And we can get a Vulture unit level 5. Man, we're probably not going to get to take advantage of that either. So I won't worry about that here. Here we have an AUG trait. We don't have an AUG pilot. But this unit does care about having a friendly white base in play. And then we can pair any AUG pilot for free on this card. If we don't draw an AUG pilot, then the white base effect doesn't matter. And we don't have to worry about running that base. A very fair pack there. Not mind-blowing, but not bad. Alright, I see no bases here. We have a 3-2, a 3-3, level 3 cost 2, an Asuno family trait, but I think Flint is also a rare pilot, so we're not likely to get to do that, but these are just good stats. We get a sort of a 2-2 for 2-1, and it's a Titan unit. Some units from the Titans care about buffing other ones, so that's not so bad. We have another one of these cards that cares about biological CPU traits, so we're happy we have that pilot. The Raider MA mode, just a good stat, 4-3. Like the decks I did the best with in the GD1 sealed format, it was basically just like good solid 4-3s and 3-4s. It's not quite the same here because there's a little more shenanigans going on with some of these unit abilities, but 4-3s and 3-4s that cost 2 or 3, that's a good place to be looking at. This 4-1... it's just so easy to kill. I think it might be a bit of a trap. If you're struggling to find a 30th card, you can throw it in, but don't get seduced by that. We've already seen a fair number of pinging cards just from what we've drawn. Galio Schwab's Grazi. If you have another Gallahorn unit in play, it gains blocker. There aren't that many in the main set, but Galio is a pilot. That you can get, and I like including a lot of pilots because they burst, and so 20% of your cards are going into your shields at the beginning of the game, and so being able to get value out of them by having more burst effects or bases like that can be a good thing. So here, this Barzum cares about choosing a Titan unit and giving it +1 AP during the turn, so having this 2-2 Hyzak is a nice little synergy thing we can take advantage of. The Sailor Light-type Gundam, it can deal damage to an enemy token. There aren't going to be that many you have to worry about in this format, but just a 3-4 for 2, again, still good. Shagia Frost. We can, during Link, yeah, it's a 1-2, but probably we're not going to get to take advantage of this. I think the units are rare or above, so I will presume we're not going to get to play the Shagia. We do have a Tewas link unit here. It's a 3/4 vanilla, but it does link, so hopefully we can find one of those pilots. There are a few of them in the set. This Age device, I think, is going to be pretty useless, so I'm not going to worry about that. The Cubile is really just a 5/5. We don't have any Neo Xeon pilots at first, so we can't take advantage of this. If we get the Haman, we could do the cool link effect to it to give it suppression, but otherwise it's just a 5/5 that costs more than that Breach Age unit and comes down on the same level, but maybe we'll want that top end. We'll see. Might be a trap. Let's go to our final pack. All right, we have another pilot, another of these Orga, Krot, and Shani, so we'll have 2 units that link with them and 2 pilots to go with them to maximize our chance of drawing them. That's pretty great. This Grazi Ritter ground type, so it is another Galahorn unit for that unit that cares about them. And we can, when it's destroyed, we can set that unit as inactive. We're probably not going to be in a good situation to take advantage of that, so I'm not going to worry about it too much. We got the Wolf, so White Wolf, so we could pair that with that unit. That might be a nice pair up. Another Marasai, but it doesn't look like we have any Titan pilots in this pool, but again, still just a great card even if we can't link it. The G-Quix cares about red pilots to make this better, but like it needs, when we only have 1, or we have 2, because one of them is a command pilot, but still, there's so many chances where this unit will actually just be a 0/3 doing nothing. Probably no point in putting it in your deck. The Galio's here. We will not have 4 more Galahorns in our trash, so it's really just being able to link that 1 unit. So that's something to keep in mind. Linking is pretty valuable here because your opponents aren't going to play around it too much because it is rare. Oh wait, we do have another Galahorn unit that rushes. It's just a vanilla 4/3, but that could be helpful. We got another one of the Breach units, so this will probably replace the Cubile in our deck because we didn't have the Haman. We have another Tewas vanilla, but no Tewas pilots to go with it. This Searcher card, that one looks a lot stronger. We don't have enough clan units, so we're not going to worry about that. Sometimes the Searcher cards are good, like the Turning Point of History, like that. You probably won't get to draw the card, but you will get to at least do some filtering, and that can be valuable sometimes since you'll likely be drawing off the top of your deck by the end of the game most of the time. We do have one of the rares that go with that red pilot, so the Shagia, so we might do it. It's not the best. We just would get to rush with it, but that could be good enough, and the support too might matter if we're trying to get over a base hurdle or something like that. This Zetas is a 5/3 I don't love, especially when we have this Gundam Age, but it is level 5, so it does come down sooner. It's a lot easier to kill as a 5/3, and we could use this ability to destroy a unit by destroying dealing damage to a unit by destroying one of ours, but I don't think that will ever be something we want to opt into. We don't have value from things being in our graveyard, or enough value. We have that 1 card that cares, but that's not enough to justify it. And I wouldn't worry about that too much. Okay, I think we've got a very reasonable pool here. I think we're going to get to do a lot of linking, so let's go and now build the deck. So the first thing I like to do, sort by level, make sure our curve is looking great and we can do enough in the early turns. And then after that, I like to look at our bases. We have the 1 card that cares about a white base, but it's not a very useful effect since we don't have any AU pilots to go with it. So probably we're not going to include this since there's not that much Breach we're going to be worrying about. Alexandria, I think, can have some use. Shuji's Hideout can have some use. The other ones aren't likely to ever come up. So for now, I'm only thinking of including 2 bases, but we'll see how the rest of our field works out. Perhaps there'll be some value in playing another base, in which case I would play the Argama because it comes down sooner and is cheaper. Otherwise, they're both just vanilla cards. And then we look at our pilots. So we do have the 2 Galahorn units that link, so let's put him in. I think we're going to put the Shagia in. We're not putting the Chalia in. We do want to put the 2 Orga, Kroats, Shani in. Now, look at our command pilots. I don't remember where we ended up on Familial Devotion, if we want to include that or not. I think we'll want to... I don't know, because the card's not great on its own if we're not linking it to the Vulture unit. So I'm going to think about it. This White Wolf does have value. It can slow down your opponent's aggressive plan if you're in a pinch. And as we know, it does rush with a unit, so that's fine. And probably not the Shiko, perhaps a familial unit. So that is already 7 cards in our deck. So I recommend between 20 and 23 units. We are a little low on that, so that extra card could be a base. It could be this familial devotion. We're going to find out as we go through our units here. So let's go and find our link units. We know we're going to want to put those in. Link units of pilots we have, not this white-based team trait thing. So yeah, we know we have the Wolf. For this Genoese custom, we have the Galio Baudouin unit here. The Grazi, since we have stuff that cares about other Galahorn units, let's put those in there now. We don't have anything for these. Another Galahorn one with the Eins Grazi. The new UNE Ashtaron. This is the heavy arms is generically good. We're definitely including that. Okay, that might, and no, we know these biological CPU units are coming up. There they are. There's 2 of them there. And we know we want these Age 1 Tituses as our top end, so we'll put those in there now. We still have room for 23 more cards. No, that math's wrong. 13 more cards. And there's plenty certainly to pick from. Again, debating on putting that Vulture one in, but we're going to see. So let's look at our level 1s and 2s. Not a lot of great ones here. We have that Genoese as a level 2. We know we wanted that Hyzak, and that's the end of it. So not a lot of early turn plays from us. It's not odd, so I might consider putting this core booster in for that very purpose. Even though it's not the most exciting play, we'll see how many slots we have left. We know we want this Barzam. The Gundam Age 3-3, I think, is good. It's certainly better than this 2-3. And the Marasai. So we'll just have a lot of 3-3s coming down early. And we do have that unit that cares about, with that card that cares about Titan units being in play. So that'll be good for us here. Not going to fall for that. The 3-4s could be good. What else do we have there? More 3-4s, but they cost more, and they aren't. Yeah, we're not going to get value out of this Gundam X, so it's probably not worth considering. But here's a 4-3 for 2. We like that. 5-4, 4-4. All right, I think we will put the... actually, I'm not sold on that yet. I think we're going to put this 2-2 in. This core booster. It's not exciting, but I want to have a better curve. And then it's 3-4s. We're going to put in these link ones and maybe scare our opponents into thinking we can rush them and maybe they'll play defensively. That'll be pretty good for us. And then after that, yeah, I'm not like in love with the units that remain. We're going to put in the Sailor one just because it costs 2. And I think I will put in this Leopard. Do I want another base? Do I want the Argama in here over more units? I think we will put in that 1 Familial Devotion. Put in that Leopard. Oh, we already did that. Good work. 1 card left. Do we want it to be a unit, or do we want it to be that base? I think we want it to be the base, because our low-end curve isn't the best. We have 21 units. We'll put in the Argama. So I think sometimes you get a nice build and you have a lot of great level 2s and level 3s and you can just like go at it pretty quickly. We don't have that many great level 2s here, so there's only 3 in the deck. So there's a very good chance we're not going to get to do anything, especially if we're on the play for a while. So I think you want more bases in that scenario. All right, so here's the list. You can take a look at it. We got all the colors represented here. We'll save and we'll close and we'll begin. So we're only going to play 1 match because here in Wing Table, if you're on Patreon, you can play the sealed event. But to make the other games feel more difficult, each time you win, your opponent will begin the next game with 1 extra resource. Now, that's not an EX resource. They get 1 actual factual resource. So if they go first, they have level 2 right away. If they go second, they have level 3 right away. So that's not going to simulate real-life gameplay, so we're just going to play the 1 and see how it all goes. So this was what I was worried about here, by not having a lot of the level 2s. We have a level 3, but then it's like a level 5 and a level 7, plus 2 pilots, one of which we can't play till level 5, one of which is a command pilot, but not very useful. I stress not to mulligan that much in this format, in sealed, or even in your starter events, because your decks are not optimized So an average hand is pretty decent, and there are many ways to get a lot worse hands, but this is one of those worse hands we're afraid of getting, so we are going to mulligan. Alright, and yeah. Alright, we at least have level 3 things, and we can link one of them out to kind of make up for that aggression, and we have a base now too. Oh, and we're going first. This is going to be rough. They play a 2-2, so at least they can't burst our base right away, and again, we can't play anything. But we are going to get to play a few things on turn 4 at least, and try to make up for the loss in tempo. And we are going to play this Marasai first, because the Barzim will give +1 AP to a Titan unit that is in play, should we for some reason need to have this Marasai deal 4. Or we could just rush, but it might be better to have blocker, and we do have a Gallahorn unit we can rush later. Yeah, okay, we won't do that. We will play the Marasai, and we're going to play the base, because we're not going to really have a good time to do that on a later turn. They are going to get to pop it right away, but at least that shield won't go to our trash, it will go to our hand. And we'll get to do a damage to something on the way out. We drew a pilot. We would have gotten that anyway. Okay, they are attacking it. We probably will do damage to the 3-2, because then we can have a smaller unit finish it off, though I don't think there are too many of them in our deck, because we did have the high-cost stuff. Okay. It's not looking great, but we can start doing some trading, so let's do that. We might need to rush something. Oh, but this unit's going to get blocker. We're not going to get to take advantage of the rush effect, but that's not the end of the world. Giving a unit blocker, I think, is very helpful. And we do have one more Gallahorn unit if we do want to rush, but even just during the pairing won't matter. They are going to trade into that. That is totally fine with me. Our unit was close to dead anyway. There's a million things that can do a damage to finish it off. We will block this. Get advantage of that now, so I don't have to be in an awkward spot where I don't want to get rid of this Ein Schwalbgrazi. I like this Gundam Heavy Arms draw. We're going to play that first, because it's going to let us look at the top of the deck and know what's coming up next. I don't think we need this 3-2, this Grazi Ritter. I think the units in our hand are already better, and there are better units in our deck we want to find, especially something that pairs with the CPU biological people pilot we have. So let's put that to the bottom. See, definitely glad we're not drawing that. Heavy Arms already putting in work. We'll attack. And then we have enough to play another unit. We're going to play a 3-4. Yeah, I think that's better than anything else we have. The Barzim doesn't do anything now, and we can just play that at any time. They have a Hakushiki, which has blocker, so we have to keep that in mind. It will have repair if they get a white base in play, but I think we're going to get to avoid that. Next turn, we'll get to play this Breach 3 guy. That thing's going to put in some work, so that's pretty good. We will only attack with this 4-3 for now and see if they want to block that. They do, so that's great. That means our other units are going to be able to push through. They're just sort of fodder at this point. We're going to get to replace a lot of them. We've been able to stem the tide by being able to trade favorably despite our slow start. I'm a fan of that. We're going to get to play 3 units this turn and really go wide. The Barzim doesn't get its effect, but that's okay. It can choose itself. Doesn't matter. Okay, and we could even finish off our opponent next turn because they didn't want to attack our units. They couldn't kill them anyway, so that's where the 3-4s are nice. Though they do have 2 5-4s now, so we can't kill those. We have our Vulture unit. We don't have 7 units in the trash, but the game also might be over here. Yeah, I guess the annoying thing is they also have a 3-4. So let's attack with our 3-2 first. Because there is that card that if we burst it, it deals 2 damage. It's the purple card that exiles the thing. So you definitely want to plan around that, even though it's rare, so they're not likely to have it. It's free to play around in this scenario, so we're going to do that. Having a Link unit here would be nice. We don't have it. It just isn't the way the game shook out. So if the last one's a base, I will put a pilot on the Heavy Arms, the Gailio specifically, because we're unlikely to rush that, and we're more likely to be able to rush with the other unit. And we're going to finish off the Sailor gun cannon. I don't think they can kill us, even with a rush unit, but just in case, I'd rather play it safe. There's no reason not to. If we don't win this turn, we will be likely to win next turn. As long as we don't die, but there's no base in there. No base from our opponent this game. So we attack them, and we win. What was in their hand? They did have that exile card. See, if it burst it, you deal 2 damage to something. At level 3 or lower, but our Barzum is indeed level 3 or lower. So it is in their deck. It's worth playing around. The Elmeth is a great card, but they have Lala in their deck. It's not terrible. And this 3/4 with Breach 5 if there's another Xeon Link unit in play. So maybe that's why they wanted the Elmeth in there. And they have the Gundam that links with the other Frost Brother. Okay, did you get a sense of kind of how to play that there? Even with our slower start, we sort of traded when we had to gain control of the board, and then even though our units were higher level, they did cost a lot less. Like that 2 cost was a lot more valuable than those 3 cost units with the same stat. Obviously, you can do that math too. I'm not trying to talk down to you, but you got to see why that was so important to take advantage. Even if they were just 3 3s instead of 3 4s, having them cost 2 instead of 3 let us really flood the board there. So keep that in mind. We did get to turn 7, though this Age Titus didn't matter that much. But there will be games where we are doing a lot more trading back and forth. Like, one of their units probably should have traded with my... Oh no, because they didn't have the pilot for it. They couldn't trade with it. Yeah, okay. 3 4s coming in clutch. I'm telling you, it's all about just fundamental stats. 3 4s, 4 3s. A lot of the game's going to come down to that. Play around your opponent's burst. Those are my tips for you. Hopefully this and the previous video would be helpful for you. If you guys are doing well in your events, please let me know. If there are any cool little synergies between cards you guys have noticed that I didn't get to talk about in these videos, you know, because we obviously didn't look at every card between 2 videos. Definitely put those in the comments for other viewers to see and help spice up their own events. Outside of that, I hope you are able to find product so that you can play with all the cool new cards coming out. Thank you for watching.